Welcome back, fellow shop rats. Today we are back on the Stitches Challenger doing something fun because I need some fun in my life after the week that I had. And I just want to do something that continues us forward on the progress we've been making in the interior dash area of the car. I checked yesterday and the dash pad has not come in yet, which is fine because that gives me a little more time to try to recover some money financially to be able to purchase it. But we're going to work on the steering column today. So let's take a look at what we've got. Let's talk about what we're going to do and let's get after it. I'm Mike.
This is My Cars Shop.
If you remember from our last episodes, we had been mocking the dash and putting things together. We haven't been scoffing it, but we've definitely been mocking it up. And the steering column bugs me because we have this beautiful console with that fabricated console top and all of those nice bezels and stuff like that, but we have this really scummy steering column. One of the things that I need to do is, in order to ship this up from Texas, we whacked off the blinker arm, and I thought I had it, but apparently I don't. I was thinking about welding it back up, so I don't know if we're going to get to replace that today or not. We're going to tear this apart. I don't have a key for it. I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything with that today, but one thing I do want to do is cosmetically at least get this cleaned up and make it look a lot better in here, because remember that right now in the stage of that I'm in, it's about doing things that bring me encouragement and motivation, and seeing a sparkly steering column instead of this scummy one would definitely accomplish that goal. Got the nuts removed now, so this should be able to drop out. There we go. Pull it out. Some of you may be saying, Mike, you've got so much fabrication work to yet do on this car. Why are you messing around with this project right now? Because remember, everything needs to be done. It doesn't really matter when it's done. And if you make it fun, then it's going to all get done. And right now, I'm having fun with the dash part of this car. It's a side project, but it's something that needs to be done now or later. And I'm choosing to do it now because, well, my project. And I can do it any way I want. So that's what spending the day here with me in the shop is all about. And part of that, as I said, is a way to gain motivation to get back at the hard work that needs to be done. I mean, I still have a paint job over here to finish. We just recently painted the inside of the cab. And when I came out today, I was just like, I'm exhausted from the week that I've had. I'm just not mentally in the right place to be painting today. This is going to be something that I think is fun. So one of the first things I want to do is get the steering wheel off of here, which it's 3 bolts that hold it on there, and they're just on their finger tight if I remember right. Of course, we need to get the horn button off also, and that's being, rather, there we go. It's the only horn button I got for this, so I want to be careful with that. So I'm going to put it over here for now. And we'll get these nuts off of here. I guess they're kind of finger tight. So we'll get those nuts off of there. We'll get the steering column or steering wheel off, and then we'll start digging into what we got to do here. The next piece in the puzzle here is we need to get the crush can or accordion or whatever you want to call it off. And there is a nut down in there we got to pull, and then probably going to need to use my steering wheel puller with some super long bolts, which I doubt that I have. So that could be rather fun to try to get off. Great. The nut is a 7/8. Be too easy if that thing would just slip off of there, but I'm sure it won't. Oh, that's going to be a pot licker. Let me find a creative way to get that off of there, because I'm sure I don't have bolts long enough. I don't really want to run to the store, so let me see what I can do. So we got our bolts in there that are plenty long, maybe too long. The next challenge is going to be, is our puller, I use a harmonic balancer puller for this because I don't have an official steering wheel puller. But the issue is going to be, is this thread long enough to reach all the way down in that little coffee can and still pull? Now remember, it doesn't have to pull it all the way off. It just needs to break that tension loose, and hopefully, maybe. I don't know. It's a long ways down in there. If I have a 1/4 inch of, even just a 1/4 inch of pull, it'll do the job. It should do the job. I don't want to sound overconfident. Nope. Doesn't reach. Even maxed out completely, it doesn't reach. Well, or does it? No, I don't think so. Oh, great. So that means we've got to find some kind of way to extend that. Because, yeah, it won't pull there at all. So I think maybe even just a nut that I can set on there like this, or maybe a bigger one. You know what might work even better? Duh. Maybe. I don't think that's going to give me enough. Let's see if I can set a nut on there. Well, it's such a fun place to work. I want to see how much thickness I need. I may need to just measure it, but that nut's not going to stay, is it? Got another idea of what could work. There we go. Let's see if this hits now. Yep, it does. And that gives me just a little, about a 1/4 inch. So as long as I can get my bolts in there, I may need to find, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put this on there to give me a little bit more surface area, and then we'll put a bigger nut on there. That'll make it a little easier, as long as I can get my bolts in for the puller, which I should be able to. All right, this is going to be some piddly stuff, and you can't see anything, and I don't know that I have that much to say, so I'll be back as I'm getting ready to pull it. I don't have much, that's for sure. I may need a little shorter bolts, but or a bigger washer. I put a lug nut down in there's what I actually did. Let's see if this works. Said it doesn't need to be much. I think it definitely pulled. 100%. Yep, it's loose. Told you it doesn't take much. Okay. Now I got to get these stupid bolts out of here again. Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels. Okay, we got to get that nut out of there. And our coffee can should come on. Or not. Yep, there we go. Coolidge, Calvin. So our blinker arm comes out with just one screw right here. I already pulled it. Hopefully upstairs in another steering column, which I have a bunch of, I've got one that is similar, and we'll stick that in there. I was going to just weld this back together, but I can't find the other part, so doesn't matter. It was really rusty anyway. So anyway, that's out of there, and then we're going to pull this part off, hopefully, without screwing it up, and try to get at the key here. I don't have a key for it, like I said. I thought I did, but I suppose I've got I could be lucky. I'm never lucky. I have 27.6 million Dodge keys around from all the cars I've had over the years, and I could have something that might work. I've had that happen twice before where I had a couple of cars and keys between one and the other one actually worked, believe it or not. They were close enough that which tells you that Chrysler did reuse key patterns randomly or something very close, which makes sense. You can't make millions of cars and have a million different keys. So there had to be some duplication or something very, very close. But anyway, I'd be curious to know how many keys, different, key cuts there were, but doesn't matter. Um, so I'm gonna probably just, I got some in the toolbox. Maybe I'll just see if we can get awful lucky. I doubt it. Okay, so the last two videos I did, my microphone wasn't working, so you got to see that in time lapse. So what I was saying, again, is that I tried all those keys over there, nothing worked. I have a big box of keys somewhere I can't find. But I went ahead and pulled the bolts out and then just gently tapped here with a plastic hammer, broke this loose. I took the snap ring off in there, of course. So I'm able to get this out now, and better take the nut off. So you got to be really careful not to damage your housing when you're doing this. I don't know if I can get that plug up through there now. Probably, maybe, sort of, kind of. Yeah, I'm not sure I can yet. That'll be all right like that for now. The wires are brittle, but they're in good shape, so that's good. Happy with that. So I need to decide now my next step. I believe the steering shaft comes out up here. What I'm trying to get at is the ignition. I'm going to pull my park ignition lock thing out of there. Oh, yeah, there's our whole ignition switch right there. I wonder if I have another one that has a key. I might. I'll have to look. Since we're in here, I had an idea what I was going to do, but yeah, if I remember right, this whole thing, because I believe this parking engager thing here is locked to the shaft, like welded on. I'm not sure you can pull that off. I can't remember how to pull the shaft itself up out. Maybe I can't. I think I can. I can if I believe I can, right? Obviously, I don't want to put too much pressure on it, but it is coming. So, okay, there we go. I'm going to be real careful not to damage that housing, that's for sure. But it did come up. So I'm going to work on that a little bit, and we'll be back after a brief word from nobody. Just like that, it's all tore apart. I just pried this. This shaft is a D shaft, and it just slides in and out of the shaft down here. I didn't pull it out all the way because I don't need to. Pulled it up out of the way enough. The canister came off. The wire harness came out. The ignition switch itself is here. That's the electrical part. And here's the key part. So I need to go up in the warehouse and see what I got. See if I got something that'll work for this, or do we make this generic, which is taking this plate off here and just pulling all the key tumblers out. Don't really want to do that on this car. I've done that on other cars before. It would be a temporary fix, but here's the thing. I don't want to have to tear all this back apart again. So let's go see what I got upstairs. For a steering column, I might have one out of a Dart that would be similar. I'm going to take this with me and we'll see. Got that one there. That's out of a Mustang. I don't think that's going to work. That one there has a blinker switch. That's out of a mid-70s B-body cop car type, I think. And that has sort of a key. Let's see what else we got. This one's out of a 76 Scamp. That's got keys, so we could pull that apart. That's going to take a whole lot more pulling than that one over there out of the B-body, though. So we got this column here. It's out of a mid-70s B-body or something like that. Not even sure. I think everything's going to be the same here. Blinker switch should be the same, and the most important part is this. And we have this key blank that works. So we'll be able to use that, hopefully. Hopefully I can get that key out of there. And these are the kinds of things that we find inside old steering columns, which is why I couldn't get the key out, because there's a mud dauber's nest in there. And I'm sure that mechanism is all... I can't turn the key back all the way because the locking mechanism there is mucked up. I'm going to pull that out, and then I'm sure we'll be able to pull the key out. They are different, which surprises me. This has a ring to retain it into the column, and this has a pin. I popped all the tumblers out of this one, and it works. Now with this key, of course, it'll work with any key, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is carefully take the tumblers out of this and put it in here and rekey this tumbler for that key. Then I can take this up and get a real key made at my hardware store around the corner here. It's the only place around that has these old key blanks. So I'm going to get that done. It's a tedious process, so I'm just going to focus on that, and I'll show you when I've got it back together again. It's just a matter of these little tumblers and springs, one at a time, taking them out of here, putting them in here. The other thing is, I am almost positive this is an aftermarket piece. It's a piece of crap. This part here spins without a key in it, and it's not turning anything. It's just that the key holder thing is spinning on the outside of the housing. So I wouldn't use it anyway because it's not good. But this one here is fine as long as I can rekey it. I've done this before. It's just a tedious process. Well, that was a bigger ordeal than what I wanted it to be, but it worked. I haven't peened this over yet. I want to test it one more time. This is the key. Goes in. Everything turns. It's a little bit stiff, but the key is almost like brand new, so it's just a sharp key. I think if we get a new key made and they wire it down like it's supposed to be, it should be fine. There's another key that's not the right one, and it doesn't work. So now we just got to peen this over a little bit. And full disclosure, I always try to full disclosure, somewhere down here is one tumbler. The very first tumbler out of this hole that should be in the very first tumbler hole here. I can't find it. It hit the floor. I got 4 out of the 5 in there. We can try every key here, but none of them are going to work except the one that goes for it, the way it's cut. So I'm comfortable with that. So that's good. Try another one here. Make a liar out of me. That one doesn't work. This one I've already tried. That one doesn't work. So I'm comfortable with that. It's just to keep an honest thief, honest. So I just got to tunk that over just a little teeny bit. And I may put a little Acum pucky or something on there just to glue that in place a little better. But there's tumblers, and then there's spacers and springs. So it went right there. I know it did. I can't find it. I spent 20 minutes down there on my hands and knees. Did a lot of praying while I was there. That never hurts anything. But couldn't find it, and I'm not going to sweat it. So I'm going to go and tunk that a little bit, and I may put a little Acum pucky on there of some kind because I don't want that to come flying off. But I don't know what time it is. I think the hardware store is probably closed by now, but I'm comfortable with that. So now we can start actually cleaning this up and doing what we were supposed to do today. But this is important. You know, this is really key. Key to the whole project. I have 2 coffee cans. This one's a lot better shape. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. We'll just sell that one or whatever. And I had to pop the horn assembly off of that one. So we need to get that cleaned up to put on here, but I'm not going to worry about that right at the moment. But I want to go ahead and get this cleaned up a little bit and then get it shot. My camera died, so I didn't get some things filmed, but I did go ahead and get the column itself in primer. So we can paint that here as soon as it dries. Get that shot. That's going to look really nice. So we're making good progress now. If I can get this shot today, then it can dry overnight and we can reassemble this tomorrow. I don't normally do episodes over 2 days, but this one I think is worth it because it's just kind of the whole steering column as one project. So yep, making progress. Really happy with things so far. Our can is in primer now. We're just waiting for that to dry. And the column is dry, so I can go ahead and shoot that, get that in satin. And then that's as far as we're going today. So we'll get that done and we'll show you what we got. Okay, I just took a few minutes to refurbish that. So now we have a nice blinker switch. It's not perfect, but for stitches, it'll be good. Polish the plastic up really nice. So when we get to reassembling tomorrow, we'll have all that to put in. There we go. It's all shot now. I got it here in front of the heat, so it should dry. Got our coffee can shot. That'll dry. It's great progress. Got a little bit of runs. Dang it. Not bad. I think it'll dry out because satin is pretty good. When it dries, that stuff like that will get hidden. So we'll hope. You got a run there too? Nope, I guess not. Put it in front of the heat so it will definitely set up a little quicker. But this stuff takes 24 hours. You just can't rush. Um, it's an enamel, so I wish I could still get the lacquer satin black I used to use. I like that better because it can dry fast, but it is what it is. Whoops, I forgot a part. Gotta get that cleaned up, get that painted. Otherwise, I can't put it together tomorrow. Good thing I looked. I was just looking over all the wiring to make sure everything looks good here, and it does. It looks real good. One thing you can do with old wires, as long as they don't look like they're going to short against each other, and they don't. They're not cracked or anything. But what you can do in a situation like this, if your wires are good but you're concerned about them cracking, split them all apart and shoot them with Flex Seal. That'll give you some insulation. You can wrap them obviously with tape also, but this looks really nice. I don't see any issues here at all. Got to do a little cleaning on our plugs, of course, but everything inside the column looks really good. I was concerned because that column was in such bad shape, but looks good. All the blinker stuff looks good. So, yep, nothing worn through, nothing cracking, anything like that. A lot of guys would put all new wiring in it. I don't. I look it over and inspect it, decide whether or not I'm comfortable with it, and I go with it. There we go. Let's put it over here to dry. Got a little run right there, but that'll come out easy with a little Scotch-Brite. A little sag there, but I think that one's going to dry out okay, so no biggie. We'll get that shot with some satin black here in just a couple minutes. Big progress. Okay, so it's I got it primed, I dried it, and I got that painted. I also shot that again because it was looking awful. One thing about satin black, though, I know is when you shoot it, get a good heavy coat on, 1 or 2 coats, and then generally don't ever look at it till it's dry because it looks really weird in the drying process. So anyway, that's ready to go, and I think that's as far as we go for today. So we'll see here in a minute. Yeah, that's going to be good progress. I'm excited to see all of that put back together again and stuck back in the car. So The exciting part now is to watch paint dry, and it's after 5 o'clock now, so I've spent more time out here than I expected today. But I decided to just go. I was just going to do cosmetic, and I decided, you know what? Let's just get her done. And we got the thing rekeyed. We inspected all of our switches and wiring. We got everything cleaned up and painted, and it's big progress. So we'll be back at it tomorrow. So for me, it'll be 12 hours or maybe a little more. I'm not going to be out here at 5 in the morning. Maybe 15 hours. For you, it'll be like that. So I'm going to go check the fire outside in the wood stove, make sure that we got plenty of hot water, because I'm going to run this heat for a while to dry everything as much as I can before the night's over, and we'll go from there. It's about 7 p.m. and I'm just walking out to the shop right now. There's our campground. I love looking back there at night. It's so cool. Anyway, I'm walking out to the shop to just check the paint and see how things are going. And there you go. Some lights turned on here. You can smell the paint baking for sure. Oh yeah, it looks great. Like Tony the Tiger great. Turn that a little bit. Perfect, man. That satin black is looking good. Sorry for the noise, I know, but the heater's running and I'm not shutting it off yet. How's our can looking? Man, our can is drying nicely. Looking real good. Woohoo! Perfect, man. Really thrilled with everything so far. Don't fall on the floor. Don't be Chutchkin. There we go. All right. Yeah, the column looks amazing. So I just thought I'd bring you along, and yeah, the satin is starting to really get satiny. Woo! Man, I can't wait to put that together tomorrow. I'm not going to let the heat run out here all night, because otherwise I'll burn up about 10 million pounds of wood, and I can't get any wood till deer season's over in a couple of weeks. But it's about 72 degrees out here right now. Looking good. Real happy. While I'm at it, I'm going to go check the wood stove and see how things are looking out there. Make sure we're stoked up good for the night. Okay, here we go. Let's get our temperatures checked. 175 degrees. Sounds like the damper's open. I can hear it buzzing. How much wood do we have left? Yep, we're going to need to throw a couple pieces in there, but not bad. 180 is the maximum temperature. The damper opens at 170. Chuck some wood in there and I'll be right back. I'll be shutting the shop down here soon, so that should be enough to get through the night this time of year. When it gets really cold, that's not nearly enough wood, but the last two pieces I threw in were hardwood, so that will burn a lot hotter and harder than that softwood. But I don't know, it's thought to be interesting to share this bit with you. About 9 o'clock p.m., I just came out to shut the heat off for the night. The column is looking great. I took the love those coat hangers my brother-in-law made for me. But anyway, took the accordion coffee can and I had set it up on there. And everything is drying nicely. This is going to look so good. Hopefully everything is dry by tomorrow around 11, 12 o'clock when I get back out here. But got to go check the fire one more time, make sure we got enough wood in there, make sure the water temperature is good to get through the night. But I'm going to call it a night. This is what I do. This is the life I live when I'm working on stuff like this, as I am coming out here regularly and just checking on stuff, and it's just part of it. So if you're going to spend the day in the shop, then you're going to spend the whole day, even though I might be out here at 2 o'clock in the morning checking on something. All right, we're back. Day 2. And I want to clean things up a little bit here because that's all pretty and I don't want to scratch stuff up. And kind of regroup here a little bit, then we'll bring the column over and we will start reassembling. Woohoo! Well, now we get the big thrill of trying to remember how all this goes back together again. Okay, this is our ignition switch itself. It goes right there. It should all just kind of fall back into place because the wires are, nice and stiff. And fortunately, I have this other column to refer to as well. Trick will be remembering what screws go where, but I guess ultimately it really doesn't matter as long as it goes together, right? Would have been better had I been able to put it together yesterday when it was fresh in my mind, but couldn't because it's wet paint. So all good. Okay, one ignition switch. That little jigger there, I think that goes, yeah, that goes down there. I'm quite sure. Just gotta remember how to get it in there. Like a ragu, it's got to be in there. So we put our ignition switch, screwed it in here. Then this is, I believe, the key dinger thinger, which goes over there, like a so. I don't think that has to be in there. What am I trying to say? I think that can be in there before we put the ignition switch itself in. I gotta remember what screw that is. Is it this one? Nope. It's a bit bigger. It's probably that one. Yep, that's it. Okay. So we got to get that little switcher in there, which is a pain in the katukas. There we go. We're obviously going to want to be super careful when we put the key tumbler in that everything is good and nothing's going to break. Okay, here we go. So I think the next thing we need to do is put our rekeyed original tumbler back in, and I put some of that Pour 15 patch over this here yesterday just so it would glue everything down, just because I've had issues with those things coming apart and then you're screwed. So I checked it again today, and I did check it with all the other keys that I have, and none of them work except this one. So unfortunately, my hardware store that cuts these is closed today, but I'm going to go polish this up real quick, and I'll be right back. Not too bad. It's not going to be great. It's a little pitted, but, you know, it is what it is. So now it should go in there like this. Make sure we get our pin in the right location. Voila. We have ignition. How cool is that? All right, what else needs to go in here before we put the next layer on? Nothing, I don't think. I think we can. Does that go next? Huh, gotta remember. Let's see, that should be this way. Right there. Yep, because our little light goes there, and then our. No, it doesn't feel right. That's not right. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yep, there we go. I had it wrong. Well, blow me down. There we go. Boy, why does that? Oh, I'm not very smart. Okay, got it. Boy, paint didn't turn out as good as I wanted it to, but it is what it is. I hope these are the ones. You know what I forgot? Told you we'd have to take it apart again. I gotta put the steering shaft in, but the other thing I forgot was the lock, interlock. So told you I'd have to. Okay, had to take a couple runs at that. I forgot about this mechanism here. So everything's working now. Put the key in, turns fine, won't come back. Turn our little interlock, comes out, no problem. So we're good. So now we got to get the shaft. And that pops up. And then to get the key out, we have to bring that down. One thing I forgot, there's a spring that I got to deal with. I forgot to put in place. Got to take this plate back off and fix that. Well, the issue was not a spring. It was needed lubrication, but it's all fixed now, so it works good. So, yep, that's working good now. All right, now we got to get our shaft in there, like so. Whoops, son of a... What did I just break? I have no idea what that is. I don't think it's out of there. It must have just been stuck. Oh, yeah, okay, I see what it is. It's nothing. It's the pieces of plastic down here on the shaft where they originally had... these were impregnated with plastic to hold this all together originally. So that's what that was. It was just the plastic from that. And no, I don't have a way to do that. So right now I'm just trying to put the lime in the coconut. Like that. Then we got to get those two things together in there somehow. Fun and games, huh? Because if we don't get those together, it won't steer. It's going to take a while. Got them lined up now, so sliding her down into position. About right there, give or take. I think we're good. Hopefully we're good. Guess we'll find out here in just a moment if we're good. So maybe a little too far down. All right, that's going to be good enough for now. We can always tap it in a little more if we need to. So, okay, now we can go ahead, I believe, and get the bearing, the upper bearing part on there now. That helps sandwich everything together. Got to line up our screws, which I think is right there. Yep, they're there and there. Okay. So that goes on there. Like a ragu, it's in there. We'll check it here in a minute. Make sure that we're not too far. We have a snap ring that goes on here. That will be the key. So we'll know in just a second. So if I can't get the snap ring in the groove, then we're not in the right place. But it should be easy enough to pop that shaft up a little bit, and that's what it looks like probably needs to happen. It looks like it's still down in there a bit too far. We'll get this housing on there, and we'll know in a minute. Yeah, I think it needs to come up just a skosh. I think we're... I don't think our snap ring is going to go on. Just going to find the nut. Maybe. It should pop up relatively easy. Yep, real easy. And there's our snap ring right there. Just a little more. There we go. Okay. I got to go in the house and get the snap ring. I left it on the kitchen table because it was in my pocket. I have two of them, but this one's a little bit bent and the other one is in good shape. So I'll be back. All right, snap ring is now on there and the shaft is exactly in the position it needs to be. So we can go to the next level and put our little key light and our blinker switch and all that stuff in there next. So, yeah. Wonder what that was for. I don't know. If you don't have any extra parts, you haven't done it right. Our next fun little venture is snaking this wire down through there. There we go. Woohoo! Got it. Very good. And then, oh yeah, I put that plate on there, but it should be on top of this. I've got to take that back off. Oh. I've been into more steering columns this last year than I have been in 30 years, probably. Nice thing is I've got enough experience at it that I kind of recognize how things should be once they're wrong. And by the way, this is out of the B body column. It's not out of this one. I know that for sure. So, yeah, that retainer, that metal piece that I screwed in there, this piece is so you're not screwing directly to the plastic, so that you don't break it. So that was my bad. Oh yeah, we're missing the. Boy, I thought this had a light. Let me look around. I got the light in. I took the canister off of the light, sprayed that because it was all rusty. But the light is in, and I checked the bulb. It looks good. I need to get a little dielectric grease in there, but I think that's in the house, and I'm not going to go chasing after it right now. So maybe it's in my electrical cabinet. I'll go look. I did find a brand new bulb with a stainless steel collar, so I put that in there for now. So let's get the blinker switch in and screwed down. And that'll be one more piece of progress. Is that the right word? Piece of progress? Are we making pieces of progress? Okay, and that goes like that. Right there in the hard concrete. You got to be real careful, especially with these old blinker switches, because it's real easy for those little retainer tabs to snap off. I did that on that other one over there. I was kind of disgusted with myself. It was on accident, I promise. It wasn't on purpose, but come on, get in there. Get in there. Get down in there. I'll go on tape. Got to be down in there. Yeah, it does got to be down in there. It's got to go all the way down in there and stuff. And so, oh, terrible allergies today. Hopefully, I feel like it's okay. I just don't want to break something. Boy, it's not in there right. I can tell it's not. Something's not right. Oh, I know exactly what it is. I didn't get it down in the pocket over here. I'll take it apart. There's a long sleeve that goes down in there for the blinker, and that was not in its proper location. So hopefully the blinker works. We'll find out here in just a moment or six. Yep, it does. It's just a little stiff. Just needs to be used. It hasn't been used in forever. You know what I'm saying? Very good. So let's tighten that down, and we'll be good to go. I wasn't thinking I was going to mess with this today, but I think I will. This is the horn ring, the brass that runs against the wheel here, and the contact is all bad. So I'm going to polish that up a little bit, and that way we'll get that on the steering wheel adapter. There's the retainer right there. We'll get that on there, and then that'll be done, and I won't have to mess with that anymore. I'll make sure that the little ring is in the proper place there. I think it is. Yep, it is. Okay. All right, let's get that cleaned up. It's almost all back together now. Last thing I want to do is do a little more work to clean up the black part of the steering wheel, and then we'll get that bolted on there, and then we can go put it in the car. So I'm going to bring that's just hanging over there on the rotisserie. So I'm going to go grab that real quick, and we'll do a little, and we'll be right back. Just nailed it with some super clean, and you can see it turning colors. It's eating it away. So that's cool. We'll let that soak in a little more. Probably put a little more on. You can never use too much of it. Give maybe a little brush or something. We'll scrub that a little bit and we'll wipe her down, see what we got. Well, that was definitely super fast. It was super easy, and now it's super clean. It's got some marks and stuff in it, but it's all good. So we're going to put our nuts on it. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Okay, we'll find the wrench. Here's an all wrench. We'll use that. Thanks, Daddy. Well, that's right. This is a different can than the one I had on there before. I'm like, why is this threading on here so hard? Because it's a different can. I had that can on there before. This can's the one I picked up somewhere. I don't remember. Probably got it from my buddy Dave. I don't know. Ow. Okay, I'll tighten these down. We'll be right back after a brief word from nobody. So there we go. It's all together. Now we'll go and, we'll put it in the car. Nice. We even have a key switch that works. Woohoo! Isn't that awesome? And we have a blinker thinker. It's one of those projects that I'm almost disappointed that it's done because I had so much fun doing that. It looks great. Really happy with the way it turned out. The paint could have been a little bit better, but it's fine. Um, Definitely looks out freaking standing in my opinion. Really happy with that. Such an improvement. Oh, my bezel fell off again. Got to put that back on. I didn't put the screw in it from the backside because I knew I was only mocking it up, but I had some tape on it and it's just not sticking. So let me go fix that. There we go. It's up in place now. Close enough. So I need to find or make something for radial bezel on this side, and I need to decide what I'm doing for the heater AC control on the other side. Am I going to modify the one off the rally dash that I have just so it fills the hole? Am I going to sell that one? Am I going to try to find the right one? I haven't really looked at the price of the AC control, so I definitely need to do that. If I can find that unit for a reasonable price, then that's definitely what I'm going to do because I have the heater AC box. This car was an AC car. Now, what the funny part of this is, the dash, the cap that I have coming, I don't remember if I ordered the one for an AC car or not. So that could be interesting. I didn't intend to order it. If you remember the story, my local auto parts, I called it, find a price on it, and they got me the price, and they said they'd already ordered it. So it is what it is. It's fine. It doesn't bother me any. Um, that's usually what I do is they just go ahead and order stuff. And so I should have said, don't order it. I just want a price. That was on me. I appreciate them being initiative, and I've worked with them for years and years and years. So when I ask about something, if it's within a price range they know I'm willing to pay, they just get it. So let's recap what we did. We took and completely gutted the steering wheel, sanded it down, primed it, painted it. We replaced the blinker arm with a used one. We did not have a key for the column, so we pulled a B body column that we had apart, that we had a key for, and we took the because the switch was different, we took the tumblers out of it, and we took the tumblers out of this one, and we put those tumblers in it. So now this key works, and so it's been rekeyed to match this key that we can now take up to my hardware store around the corner, about 3 miles away, and get an original key cut. This is definitely the ignition switch in that B body column was not factory, and it's definitely an aftermarket piece. The name is right on the key. I can't get it back in there because I'm not looking, but it works. So we can turn it, and then we have a steering wheel. Um, so yeah, I think we've made good progress, and it's a lot of work over 2 days. But I thought it was worth trying to go all the way and just take and refurbish that steering column 100% from start to finish, and just make that one episode um, a little project that we can do from start to finish. That kind of stuff is fun to do once in a while. I also realized that I don't have any more knobs that are D like this, and I know these aren't right. I get it. But I have another one that does not have the D slot, and all I got to do, I think, is drill it and put a little set screw in it, and it'll work just fine for the dimmer, because that's the interior dimmer switch right there. So yeah, it's cool. Whoops, did not mean to do that. I was thinking that was headlights. That's headlights on this car. So it's going to take me a while to get used to that. It's different. But this is our dimmer, of course, our wipers, and our dimmer here for the interior light when that's hooked up someday, eventually, maybe. So, progress. Dash cap coming. I may have a dash core coming. I don't know yet. I'm still working on that deal. It just use the dash pad for a core to put the cap on. If not, I have a plan to maybe make one that I can put that dash cap on. So we'll see. I got some ideas of what I can do, but I want to get the dash cap here and see where that goes with the other deal that I'm working on. I may have a hood coming and a dash, part of a dash with a cap on it, or a pad on it. We're still talking, but hopefully we can get that worked out. Well, I think that's going to do it for this one. Like I said, that was a fun project. I could pull my stool over there and just sit for a long time and just look at it, because I just think that kind of stuff is really cool. And it's super motivating to get those little projects done, because it's done. I don't have to do it later. So as I get further along, it's just something else that's done, and we can get further on getting the car running and driving and all that stuff once it's off the rotisserie. Yes, there will be fabrication coming. The paint on this wasn't quite dry enough to my comfort level to be masking on it, so I wanted to wait another week. So hopefully Thanksgiving is in a week. Hopefully I'll be getting that shot here in the next week, because I want it out of here by the end of the month. That's the plan. We'll see if we make it or not. But all right, that'll do it for this one. We will catch you on the next one. And like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And also, don't forget, because it's important, rock!